What's up and welcome to the IndieCredible podcast, episode 48, a weekly podcast where we get together and chat about the world of indie gaming. We go through everything we've been playing, we go through the latest indie game news, and there is quite a lot of indie game news this week, and we go for a main topic. And the main topic this week is an indie developer interview with Fishing Cactus. I almost said Flying Cactus then. Fishing Cactus, who are the developers who brought us Shift Quantum, a recent cyber noir puzzle game that we both played and we both enjoyed.
I quite like it.
We reviewed it. We gave it an 8.2. But the main feature is a interview with those guys around the development of the game. It's the first game they brought to console, so kind of how that worked, and it's the biggest game they've made. They've made other games for PC that are puzzle-based game related, but this by far is the biggest scope of a game they've made. So we kind of talk about how that was as a developmental process for them, and it should be quite a nice interview.
Let's hope so, Lewis.
Let's hope so. I completely went blank then.
This is Lewis.
Yes.
Here he is.
Yeah, right
what's
here.
Up, Woody?
In person, or for audio listeners, in audio form.
Yeah, in voice.
And with me, as always, is Tom.
Hello.
Dan isn't here, and you can find Tom at Freaking Profit. There's no point saying his Twitter handle because he's never on it.
Look, I'm not.
No, he's not. And
I
Dan,
can't defend myself.
And Dan isn't here, I'm afraid. But no, so...
Who gives a shit, am I right? Messy Dan.
So the IndieCredible podcast is available on pretty much all podcast services. It's still not Spotify. They keep... Well, I keep emailing them, but I don't get anything back, and they say we're waiting for verification process. But anyway, we're available pretty much everywhere, and we're available on YouTube. The perks of watching us on YouTube is not only to get to see our lovely faces, but you also get to see all the games we're talking about, their gameplay trailer or gameplay of that game play in the background. So it kind of gives a bit more context into how we're explaining things and what we're talking about, and kind of our impressions of when we first saw that trailer. You can also find us on Patreon. For $1 a month, you'll get exclusive pre and post show content. I'm banging on way too much now for the plug-in, and I hate it when I listen to podcasts and they feel like they're selling.
Because you go on for like
everything.
Yeah.
But then I listen back and I'm like, actually, I didn't go on for that long.
No, there's a podcast that I sometimes watch / listen to is Double Toasted.
Yep.
And they recently started plugging in merch at the beginning, and they do talk about it for far too long.
Really? And it annoys you?
Yeah, they're cool guys, but he's like good at selling it, but for some reason it's just like, I get it. You have t-shirts.
So let's dive into what we've been playing. Do you want me to? I'll start if you want, because I've played quite a lot.
Here we go. What a surprise!
Actually, I haven't played quite a lot.
So that's what 3 games?
I didn't play that in the end. I've played 3 games.
What a surprise!
Okay.
Oh, dickhead! Just saw the ones you played. I'm jealous.
Oh, I finished it. So I have played Shape of the World. Now, Shape of the World is a game that I played for review. It released on Tuesday or Wednesday on the Nintendo Switch. And I went into the game knowing absolutely nothing about the game.
I know nothing.
Come out the game knowing absolutely nothing about the game.
Uh-oh. Is this bad?
Yes and no.
Uh-oh.
So Shape of the World is... It's a first-person exploration game. Set in a ever-growing, vibrant landscape.
Could you call it a walking simulator?
So, no.
Okay, so it's not
because you can float, you can jump, you can kind of... Yeah, it is...
Movement sim.
So the first playthrough finished, and I'm going to be completely honest, I'll tell you the score I gave at the end, but the first playthrough finished, and I put the controller down, it took about an hour and 15 minutes. And I literally thought, what the fuck was that? Like, not in necessarily good or bad way. I just didn't know what it was.
Didn't understand.
I was like, okay, there was some interactive elements to it. There wasn't. The music was fucking brilliant, don't get me wrong. And it ramps up really well to build atmosphere.
What kind of music is it?
So it goes from this kind of gentle, soft electronic music to then when you make a discovery of something, it kind of ramps up into very nostalgic electronic 80s cybery kind of synthy music, but to the point where I didn't realise the music was making me play the game faster. Because it naturally
just with the rhythm of the
naturally loops, but doesn't feel like it's looping until you find something, and then it naturally builds up. And as you're climbing these kind of ever forming stairs in front of you, you can probably see on a trailer, it starts getting faster and faster and faster and louder and louder, and then you come through and it ends in this big kind of crescendo, and you open up into a new world where it all changes colour, and these fucking flying whales going across in front of you, and you're like, okay.
Sounds sweet, to be honest. Is it quite trippy then?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the first playthrough finished, didn't really know what to think of it, and was like, okay, first thing I need to identify, is there a narrative here? Is it just one of those ridiculously pretentious narratives that I've completely missed? Is it one of those ones that's like, oh, the beauty's in its ambiguity, you know, darling, you know, like, you know what I mean?
Is that an impression of you?
Yeah. But that's my initial thought. So I played it again, and halfway through the second playthrough, it clicked. I realised what the game was.
All right.
It's a game about escapism. It's a game where you can just go into a world and go, do you know what? I'm going to get lost in this world for an hour. I'm going to go anywhere I want to go because you can. I'm going to go throw little weird moonstones at fucking flying squid things because I can. I'm going to just climb up this thing here. I'm going to touch this rock. That's what the game is.
Okay.
Is it a great game? No. Is it a good game? Yeah, it's pretty good.
It sounds cool.
Dan would hate it.
Dan hates everything.
Yeah,
so,
Dan does hate everything.
I don't know what you're going to
So I settled on a bang on 7 because a 7 is bang on good for us. Yeah. And that's what I felt it was.
Would you play it on?
So I played it on PC with headphones. Yeah. Recommend headphones. It's available on the Switch. I don't know if playing that little screen would be a little bit like...
Is it maybe only if you play it on your TV?
Maybe. Well, yeah. I'm amazed it's not a VR game. And I say in the review, if this was a VR game, we're probably talking 8s and 8.5s because it's so immersible around you. Like, it just sucks you into this world. And if you played this in VR with decent headphones, oh my god, you'd be lost in it forever.
Maybe a potential VR.
I hope they get a VR update. Yeah. But that's Shape of the World, and the review will be up by the time this video goes up, so you can actually see my actual thoughts on it. But I was very mixed at first, but it's not for everyone. And I say that in a review. It's very much a game that is not for everyone. It's sitting, I think, about £9. It is only an hour and 10 minutes long. The second playthrough took me 45 minutes because I kind of knew where I was going.
Yeah.
But
£9 isn't really that expensive, is it?
It's definitely a game for escapism. If you had a tough day at work and you come in and you went, I'm just going to sit in this world and lose this.
Out in a weird world.
You literally would just mong out.
Yeah. Like Abzu. Abzu was like that for me.
That's literally what I compared it to.
Oh, really? Literally.
The parts when you climb the bridges are very much like the current sections of Abzu, where you get wished through, and you're kind of, and the orchestral soundtrack's really ramping up. That's very much what it's like, and then you get thrown into this new kind of mini open vista of underwater landscapes, and that's what Shape of the World is like. You get thrown into this new little thing, and
I like the sound of it. Then
I think you'd like it.
Yeah, I like Abzu, so
I'll see if I can get a copy for you so you can play it and see what you think.
I haven't got a PC.
No, you can play this on PS4.
Oh, is it? Oh, I thought you said it was on Switch and
Switch, PC, PS4. I don't think it's on
Xbox.
Okay. I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm playing that.
I also played Legendary 11. Legendary 11 is an arcade-inspired football game that released today as we're recording on Nintendo Switch. The review will be live later tonight.
You mentioned this
last week.
Last week, yeah.
Yes.
See, I do have a memory. Sometimes it works. I don't know what you said about it though.
I said I was looking forward to playing it because it is a retro-inspired arcade football game that its tagline is it has shorts, mullets and tashes.
That's right, yeah. I remember.
That's about the only thing good in the game.
Oh no. Really?
Yeah.
Is that crap?
Oh my god.
How much is it?
I think it's $12.99. I'm scared that my review didn't go out earlier because I don't want people to buy this game. So the closing line of my review is: football is often referred to as a beautiful game. Legendary 11 is far from beautiful in anything but Sorry, it's far from beautiful and nothing but. Can't get words out now. It's far from beautiful in anything but beautiful.
Christ.
If you're looking for a football game to get you through the World Cup, do not buy this game. It scored a 2.5.
Fucking Christ. That is so bad.
The game has a lot of issues. So it's an arcade football game that has the most inconsistent game control mechanics. Now, granted, I come from a big FIFA background. I've played a lot of FIFA. Mm-hmm. It's unfair to compare a game like this to FIFA that's been built up over the last 20 years. But still, there are certain basic mechanics any football game has to get right. Shooting has to be one, passing has to be one, and you need to capture the atmosphere and tempo of football. Like, no matter how you're doing it, that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just make up your own sport. The passing is all over the shop. Through balls, players stop to receive a through ball, so you're like, well, I'm doing a through ball. There is no way to weight the passes, so I can't aim how hard I want the passes. So it's a lottery if it goes to the person or not. The shooting is, you have a super shot. There's one animation for super shots. So every time you do a super shot, you see it every single time, which is it. Juggle, 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 overhead kicking in. First time you see it, that was awesome. Second time, that was awesome. Third time, fourth time, 100th time, fucking hell, just put the ball in the back of the net, will you? Yeah, they're some of the more kind of fundamental issues. Gameplay issues is the game is fucking full of bugs, like all over the place.
How?
Some that are fucking hilarious, others that are frustrating. So one that is frustrating is all of a sudden, I can't control my team anymore. They just literally ran around my team and scored in the net. And I'm like, pressing the button. No, I didn't even get the cursor over my player. For
Holy
3 goals I conceded, and then it went, oh, you can control them again. Now you're 3-0 down. Secondly, so I played Germany.
Of course.
England v Germany, FA Cup semi-final.
Classic game, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
FA Cup, fuck me.
World Cup semi-final. Yeah, FA Cup's round up, isn't it? World Cup semi-final. Beat them 7-2. Fucking get in there,
Jesus.
you Germans. Yugoslavia in the final.
Okay.
They go and beat me 4-1.
Right.
They are like fucking Germans on steroids. Like, every time I get the ball, they're in my face. Tackle, tackle, tackle. I'm like, this is ridiculous. They're a 2-star team. Germany's a 5-star team. There is no difference. If anything, the lower teams are harder. Which is a weird bug.
Yeah.
My favourite bug. This is brilliant. When you get a penalty, run the ball into the back of the net.
Well, you can just run it in.
Not every time, but probably 1 in every 3 penalties I got, I could just press sprint, and it went, just ran the ball, and the keeper stood like that. The whole time, just ran it into the back of the net. Didn't have to shoot. Yeah.
How? Why are you allowed to run during a penalty anyway?
You're not.
No,
it happens in
your
That
game.
happens in free kicks as well. Like, free kick, I just knock the ball to myself and run along with it. Like, there are basic elements to a football game that you have to, like, so, for example, I say in the review, do you remember Sensible Soccer?
No.
Sensible Soccer is probably one of the best arcade football games you can get. Was it good? Not really. But it captured what football is.
Yeah.
And it felt like you were playing football. It was a very much... Dan doesn't like FIFA. Dan's not a big fan of football. But I could give him a sensible control and say, let's play some Sensible Soccer. He would love it. Because it's quick, it's fast-paced, it's arcadey.
Yeah, it's more fun.
I gave him a control of this. He'll be like, what the fuck is going on? Why am I don't get why I'm not tackling you. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's a bit of a lottery. You might tackle every now and then. It literally is a lottery.
This sounds like one of the worst games ever.
The tagline for my review is the not so beautiful game. Yeah.
Wow.
Do you know what it honestly feels like? And I hate saying this, and I do say it in the review. And I know it's going to upset the developers because they've done something I can't do. They've made a game.
Yeah.
But it feels like let's grab a quick cash off of the World Cup.
Yeah.
World Cup's coming, let's throw
Chuck
a
football game out there and
100,000 people buy it, we get a bit of money. We're happy.
Well, I hope they use that money to make a better game.
I hope they use it to use some tutorials to make a better game. If I'm being honest.
Buy an online course.
Don't play Legendary 11. And finally, I played Forgotten Anne. Finished it. Very good.
Amazing.
Very good. The ending is nice. It just... So we keep saying anime.
Well, it is anime.
It feels, when it finishes, I look back on it more, it feels more Disney.
Do you not think Ghibli when you play it?
So in terms of the visuals of the game,
yeah,
and the way it presents itself, yes. But the way the story wraps up and the way the notes of the story are fed to you, it feels very Disney.
Okay.
To the point of where on a Sunday afternoon, I can sit down with Sarah, watch The Little Mermaid, watch Lion King that I've seen God knows how many times. It finishes, and I'm smiling. I'm like, that's a happy film. I like that.
Yeah.
I've seen it so many times, but it still has the magic to it that Disney films capture. That's exactly what Forgotten Anne has. It has that magic that it captures that magic
That
and
is
it delivers to
impressive.
you, and it's like, wow. Whereas sometimes I finish a Studio Ghibli film and I want to go jump off Peachy Head.
Do you think?
Do you not think some of them are so depressing and sad?
I don't want to jump off. I just sort of feel a bit. I don't know. They're
a lot more thought provoking.
Yeah, I guess that's the word. I feel very thoughtful afterwards. I'm always thinking, like, oh wow, it sort of means.
Whereas
something.
this doesn't feel so thoughtful. It feels more like it's an obvious ending. It's what we expected, but it's done nicely, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, yeah, I can't wait to play it. It's just
and that's what I play. I've got down here, but next week I'm going to be doing 2 streams. So I'm going to be playing 2 games on stream.
I do not know what you're playing yet.
Yeah, I'm going to be playing Moonlighter on the Tuesday night. So Tuesday and Wednesday we'll be playing Moonlighter, and then Shaq Fu on Thursday night is when I'll be playing Shaq Fu. I'm going to be aimed finishing Moonlighter over the 2 streams. Shaq Fu is going to be the first probably 3 hours of the game on stream.
Yeah, that's what you need to see.
And see what it is. Yeah. So they're the games I'm going to be streaming next week. If you want to come along on Twitch, it's at What's Up Woody. Cool. What have you been playing, mate? Well, I know what you've been playing, but tell the lovely audience, listeners, viewers, what you've been playing.
Well, I played some more Shift Quantum, but not,
cool.
not a huge amount. I played a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Still good. Still enjoying it. I played it. Annoyingly, I played like a bunch of levels. I was talking to a mate, and I was sort of half paying attention.
Yeah.
And something happened in the game, and I missed it. But I don't know what happened. So yeah, that was annoying. But I'll probably just replay the level or something.
Yeah.
And I played some more Overwatch.
Yeah.
Been sort of casually back on that now. Just every now and again I'll jump on.
Nice.
Play a few games.
So I'm back on GT Sport and fighting games.
Yeah, you're back on your main
My racing
addiction.
and my fighting games, yeah.
But the main game I played this week is Origami.
Origami, a game I wanted to play a while ago. Released 2016.
What, on PC?
And PS4.
Oh, really?
But the Shadow Edition that you've got is the game with Nightfall.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah.
It's if you don't know, it's a third-person stealth game where you play as a ninja.
Very Tenchu inspired.
Yeah.
You never played
I don't
Tenchu.
Tenchu is, but it's I assume it is. It's
Konami, I think, made Tenchu.
It sounds like a Konami thing.
I think it was, yeah.
It's you're like a ninja / shadow spirit.
He's got brutal assassinations in it.
They're reasonably brutal, yeah.
So it's very Tenchu. Tenchu is the game that people are like, you chopped his head off!
It's never like that.
Okay.
But it is like you'll stab them in the neck like there, or you'll do like a spin, slice the throat open, and they'll drop to the ground. There's blood and everything, but it's not overly.
It's got like a
never
nice,
like when
got
it
a nice
does
visual
kill.
style to it, isn't it?
Yeah, at first I was sort of like okay, but then when I actually loaded the game up, because I looked at a bunch of stuff online first, and I got to the menu and it played the music and had the main character Origami on the menu. I was like, actually looks pretty cool, this game. It's certainly got its own thing to it. There's even skins for the Origami. I don't think that would be a thing. It's not many, but there's a few.
Oh, nice.
And you unlock them by earning medals. It's not like you have to buy them or anything.
Nice. So how long have you put into it?
I don't know actually at this point. I'm on chapter 5. I want to say I've probably played maybe 3 hours.
3 hours. How far would you say you were in to the main game?
I'd say about a third in maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. It's so I had something really annoying happen to me while I was playing. And I think I was on chapter 3 or 4 I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point I was doing okay. First level I got rank C and then I got rank A in the second level.
Ooh, so it's got like Metal Gear Solid ranks.
Yeah, ranking. You get bonuses for not killing anyone or killing everyone and not being caught for the whole time.
You got any S ranks yet?
None yet. A is the highest I've gotten so far. I'm not good at stealth games, so I'm only playing on normal.
You didn't have to put word stealth in there, but carry on.
Ouch. No need for that, is there?
Well, there was.
Well, no, there isn't. There isn't, is there?
People need to know the truth, but carry on.
All right, fuck you. But so the thing is, I was on the level and I was getting through it, and I killed about 20 guys.
Okay.
Which isn't a quick task, obviously, because you have to watch their patterns and and wait for the right time to actually get in there and kill them without being seen.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, so I cleared this sort of small area around another area, and then I was like, okay, cool. And I saw a little river, and I was like, I wonder if I can swim. Because I've not even tried to go in the water yet. I thought, I wonder if I can swim, what happens if I go in the water? I didn't think that would be...
death.
Even if it was death, I didn't think me going in water would count as like being caught or something.
Make noise.
But when I went in the water, instant death, restarts the level. or at least from the last checkpoint, which was the long way back. And I was like, holy fuck, that's annoying. And the fact that just takes you straight back.
Why did you go in water when you were that far into a level? I would do it at the beginning.
Because I didn't think that would happen. Even if I died, I thought, well...
Expect the unexpected.
It's not the same as, like... It's not like I failed. I just went into some water.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was like...
But was it water?
Yeah, it's water.
Do you know what was in that water, though?
Just nothing.
Could you see beneath the surface?
Yes. Which is why I thought I could go in it for some reason. That was part of the reason
maybe there
I
was a
wanted to go
giant squid in there.
There wasn't. It was a small, shallow river. It was like 2 feet deep. So I got almost to that point again, and I was like...
You went in the water again, didn't you?
Well... Like, there's ledges on the game, and you can sort of shift up to a ledge and go on top of it. And I looked up at the ledge, and I pressed the button to shift, but it shifted me to the bottom of the ledge. And underneath that was water. So I shifted to the bottom and fell straight in the water. Back to the checkpoint I went. And I was like, God damn it! And I did it again. I got to the exact same point where I died the first time. And I was like, okay, I'm doing all right. And I went to shift to the other side of the river, because you can only shift to shadows. Because you're like made of shadows, the idea.
Yep.
And so I went and I pressed R1 to shift to the shadow, put me in the middle of the river for some reason, and I died instantly.
How did you get past in the end?
I just did it. That was a glitch.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know. I was infuriated at that point. I was like squeezing the controller, and I just turned it off. I was like, "Fuck this game!" And I came back like 2 hours later, and I was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna try again."
And it worked fine.
Yeah. I did it fine. It could just be really infuriating.
Well, I suppose there are shadows underneath the ledges, aren't there?
I guess maybe.
So you did go to a shadow.
I guess that's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really infuriating. I'm going to say in the review, stay the fuck away from water. Don't go anywhere near it, because you just get fucked the second you touch it. Put a toe in that water, you're done. You're done for. But other than that, I actually am enjoying it. Yeah. It's generally like it's like a well built game. I get a few frame rate issues.
Lints works, isn't it?
Yeah, Lints works. Yeah. It's only on like super large levels that I'll get like a little bit of a stutter, but it's not like unplayable ever.
Okay.
It's well made.
I'm looking forward to what you think to the Nightfall stuff, because it's got co-op as well, isn't it?
I'm looking forward to the co-op. Yeah,
so we're going to jump on some co-op next week,
and I'll finish the game. When I finish the main story.
Review should be up around about next weekend time, do you reckon?
Hopefully, yeah. Something happens.
Cool. Is that it? Is that what you played?
Yeah, it's all played. It's mostly Origami I've been playing. I played most nights this week. So
cool. Should we go on to the podcast?
We're on the podcast.
We're on the podcast.
You mean the news?
Should we go on to news?
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, do it for Dan. Yeah. He's not here. News. We've got quite a lot of news this week, and I love the first bit of news because I just.
Well, you're still excited about the film, aren't you?
I like the film, but I love the fact that the support. So Rocket League is getting a Jurassic World car pack.
Yes, another car pack.
Yes, another car pack. That comes with, so you can choose, so you get 2 cars, you get 2 Jeep Wranglers, which is the famous the Jeep thing that's red stripe down the side.
Yeah,
and
the one that they first see the Brachiosaurus in.
Yeah, or you can get the blue one, which is from Jurassic World.
Yeah.
The reveal trailer was brilliant. It was the scene from Jurassic Park when the car's being chased by the T-Rex.
Images in the mirror may be close to
that's it, yeah. So that was the reveal trailer. It showed something as well that I'm like, oh, do you get that in the game? Which is when you scored a goal, this flaming T-Rex head come out, went raw.
I bet you do.
And I'm like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I know you get like a safari hat and things on top, and you get like a little dinosaur thing for your aerial.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
£1.70.
It's really cheap, isn't it?
That's so good. Yeah. Like Psionics just go, here's Batman, here's Spider-Man,
here's Back to the Future.
Back to the Future, here's Jurassic World. Like they just keep releasing them all out, and they charge so little for it. And that game is still heavily played.
How long do you think till Rocket League 2?
I don't think it will happen.
I kind of think it will.
I think it will just naturally get more and more content. Because they had basketball, they've had hockey in there.
No, I think there'll be a second one.
Just like the idea.
I mean, you think there'll be a Minecraft too?
Developing a game. The idea of developing a game that's just rocket fueled soccer, like RC cars with rockets and soccer, sounds stupid. And I remember watching the first review for it that IGN done, and they gave it like a 7 out of 10. They were like, yeah, it's quite fun and all that. This was before it was out in the Wild Trek one, and then everyone went fucking mental for it.
It's huge.
And they reviewed it again recently and gave it like a 9. They were like, just because the content there now is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But no, it's nice that I love the fact that Psyonix always just throw new content out there,
coming,
and it's always so reasonable. Like if I was to play jump back on it on the Switch, I'd get that.
It's hard to say that it's a bad purchase, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
because it's not like one of these companies who's selling it for like 10 quid.
No, and it's always on sale somewhere now. Rocket League.
Yeah, I mean it was a free game like a year ago.
I think that's what helped out so well. 2 years ago.
Was it 2 years?
2 years ago.
About me.
We also got the news that Rumbling Games, a new indie company, are releasing or developing and releasing what they are calling a AAA indie game. It's an
One of these.
an RPG which is set in the medieval era. It's aiming to be historically accurate and pit you between the Sassanian Empire and the Arab forces. The game is called Knights of Light. You can see some gameplay playing up there now. What do you think to it?
I think it looks cool. I said before, it's the like Kingdom Come Deliverance sort of thing. Like they're going for the
ultra realistic
Northern European.
Apart from the combat looks a bit more arcadey. It looks more, I think, Arkham-y.
Visually, it reminds me a lot more of The Witcher than.
Yes.
So Kingdom Come reminds me of Skyrim.
Yep.
Whereas this reminds me sort of the Witcher style.
Yeah. No, I can completely see that. Third person.
Yeah. Very very quick looking.
I'd like to see how historically accurate, because I'm sure. I know it's not, but I'm sure Project Red. No.
CD Projekt Red.
CD Projekt Red could turn around and say The Witcher is historically accurate in terms of what's based around dwarfs and
well, I mean, they're not real, so they.
No, but I mean, but as in they could go on and say,
real.
but that's what I mean. I'm sure they could base that on.
I definitely think they did their research, but they can mix and match.
So I'll be interested to see how historically accurate it is based around the Sassanian Empire and the Arab forces.
I like this little influx of historically accurate games.
Yeah,
I think it's cool.
It looks a lot like there's parts of it that look like Assassin's Creed Origins in the desert. Lots of desert stuff, and then all of a sudden it goes to this kind of very lush kind of oasis land. But no, it looks interesting.
Some really nice environments and stuff.
I'd like to know what you guys think. Comment in below.
It's all very early on.
The gameplay trailer. Yeah, it's pre-alpha what we've seen. But what interested me was the fact they called it a AAA indie game. I don't really know what you mean by AAA indie game.
Well, it's your
40
Hellblades. It's your
yeah, that's a good point.
Well, yeah, Kingdom Come Deliverance. That could be considered a.
Next up, we've got the Spectrum Retreat, which is one of Dan's standout games from EGX Res. Do you remember?
Oh, yes, the hotel one.
The hotel one. So you're in the hotel.
Stanley Kubrick, he said, the sort of shining.
Yes, that's it. So it's got all the rooms, and then you realise there's actually a lot going on there, and you go the other way, and there's
sort
all
of run by these
puzzles.
AI, isn't it?
Yeah, it's run by an AI, and you have to kind of conform and do exactly the same thing each day.
Patterns, because it's the they repeat thing.
So
we sounded very interesting and complex.
Yeah, we got 2 announcements around the Spectrum Retreat. First announcement was that it got an 11-minute gameplay video with development commentary available now on YouTube. There'll be links to that in the show's notes if you're watching on YouTube. At the very bottom of the description, show's notes take you to the website, and you can click there to see the link of the video. And we also got the announcement it's coming to Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and PC this year.
It's going everywhere.
Yeah, it's going everywhere. I played it very quickly, but I was in a rush. And I didn't get as far into it as Dan did. But I liked the idea of some of the puzzles I saw. I felt some of the puzzles were a little bit generic. I've done these before in other games.
Yeah.
But then Dan says, no, when you get further and you have to literally start conforming to the AI, you're like, okay, right, I remember this pattern, I've got to remember this pattern, I've done this now. And if you go speak to someone the day before, the next day you have to go and do exactly the same thing. A little bit like Speed. You remember Speed, the film?
Well, where he's on the...
Yeah, but do you remember they looped the video to make it look like everyone's still on the bus?
No.
Do you remember that? So they get everyone off the...
I barely remember the film.
So
I remember them being on a freeway or something.
Yeah, so they get everyone off the bus because the guy's watching us, he's Dennis Hopper. I think he's the... Dennis Hopper? Yeah, he's the guy, the bad guy.
Right.
So he is watching on a CCTV feed. And what they do is they record it, them doing it, and they all stand still. And it's replayed on a loop. And then what they do is they get everyone off. So then when he goes back and looks at the live feed, everyone's off the bus. And just reminds me of that kind of everyone doing the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know why. It reminds me of that other game. I can't remember.
The other game? Yeah.
Holy shit! How
It
can
reminds you of another game.
Oh my god!
Wow.
No, what is this game called?
Can you believe it?
Last year, it was our game of the year. Fuck's sake!
Sex Brutal.
Yeah, Christ! Oh my god!
Don't hate yourself.
I feel like I just had an aneurysm. That hurt.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is very true. That's
sort of
that's kind of Groundhog Day,
reliving
isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, the footsteps. But no, it'll be definitely worth checking out. And the next game we're both quite excited by, Muddle Dash.
Yeah.
Muddle Dash looks bloody adorable.
Yeah, it looks very cute.
Looks a lot of fun, and it's kind of game I could have like Dan will come over with his wife Corinne and Sarah would be here, and I'll just give them all a Joy-Con each from the Switch and go, let's just play this game. You're
Doesn't look hard.
You're running through. You're playing these little squids.
Yeah,
are they squids?
Little cartoon squid guys.
Cartoon squids. You're running through these very colourful 2D worlds.
Very fast levels.
And you basically the main idea of the game is to find the present and to get to the party first. Get the present to the party first, and you win that stage.
Yeah.
You can punch them with your tentacles.
Yeah,
you can
like push them and stuff.
push them. You can hit switches. You have to dress to impress, as the game says, which means there are apparently lots of hats to unlock. It just looks fun.
It's just a hectic race to the finish.
And it's coming to PS4. It's coming to PC and Nintendo Switch on the 10th of July.
And not PS4.
Not PS4. I'll be amazed if it doesn't come at some point. But it's coming to Switch first on. And we're going to have a review up for that close to the time. But that will be a review that I have to do on PlayStation on a Friday night with you and Dan.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't review that on my own.
Yeah, that's not a single player game.
No, but it does look a lot of fun, and it looks pretty adorable as well. Yeah. We also got a new trailer from Grip.
I haven't seen it, but I've played Grip. So
yeah, so we both played Grip. I wasn't slightly down on it.
Yeah,
so the issue here is
because it's not.
The issue here is. So I thought the guys at Wide Productions were annoyed at me because I've had quite a good relationship with them, and I've always covered their games, but they've always given me pretty good games to cover. And I wasn't trying to piss anyone off by being down, and it seems like I'm the only person that pointed it out. Every preview I read from EGX Reds, no one else picked up on what I picked up on.
Well, this is the thing.
And it really irritated me. I'm like, you're meant to be fucking I get that people go, oh, races aren't, and a lot of people say races aren't their kind of game. I get that it's a very niche market of gaming.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, if you're going to be given a preview of a game or reviewing a game, you need to kind of have an understanding of all genres, open-mindedly.
Yeah, I guess so.
And I'm not trying to say that it's bad at all. And they have already replied to me saying that they have made tweaks to it. After my feedback, not just my feedback, but after the feedback I've given, they have made tweaks to it, and they've now made it optional.
Right.
So instantly, that's cool.
The optional thing being, of course.
So it's got what's called AI catch-up. So basically, Mario Kart has it, and this is why I don't.
It's an arcade racer thing, basically.
So so when you're ahead of the pack, there's a barrier. The AI will never go that far back, and if they do go too far back, they'll auto be sped up to be right behind you to always make it competitive. Now that is fine in some aspects, but when you're playing a game that you rely on RNG rolls for weapons and defenses and power-ups, it makes it bullshit. Because it all of a sudden goes, well, I'm at the front, so if I get rockets, they're fucking useless, and that's all I keep getting is rockets. I need defensive drops, whereas people behind you, defensive drops and offensive drops are beneficial, and they're getting sped up behind you as well. So it makes the game crap, basically. It basically goes, you can be the most skillful player in the world, it doesn't matter. This game based on luck. And that's what it does.
Yeah.
And that's what irritates me.
He was talking about it all day.
Yeah, it was. It really annoyed me.
He kept bringing it up. Me and Dan were just like, but it's not sim.
No, it doesn't have to be a sim. It has to be
But you're looking at it
fun.
like a sim.
But anyway, gone on a big tangent there. It's got a new trailer with a full release window, meaning it will come probably sometime between October. I'm going to say October or September, October. I don't think it will come November, December. That's like franchise season.
Yeah,
and I think it will do well, and I hope it does well. And I'm looking forward to playing it online, because that's where you won't have the fucking AI
definitely
sped up.
I think there definitely is some skill in the driving, though.
There is skill in the driving, no doubt about it.
I don't know. There's so much going on the tracks that you need to really.
But that's why it's annoying that there's skill in the driving.
Yeah,
when you do drive skillfully and you get beat because it's catch up, you're like, what's the point of me driving skillfully? I might as well. So you do what you do in Mario Kart when you play AI. You sit in the middle of the pack to the last lap, then you smash everyone in front of you, and you blitz to the finish line. That's the only way you're going to win it consistently, anyway. But anyway. Rant over. Grip is coming end of this year, and the new trailer looks great. You can see it up there now. It's just full-on adrenaline-fueled arcade, high-octane racing action. It does look good. Strange Brigade also got a trailer. We haven't played Strange Brigade. We've seen it at two different events. Dan played it. He went into the event really excited by it because they announced it on Xbox's stage last year at E3.
Yeah, I think so.
It was on when they'd done the big indie push thing and all that.
We saw it.
Strange Brigade was there, yeah. EGX, they had the big kind of flashy booth.
Yeah.
Which looked pretty cool, but the queue was fucking huge.
Too long.
And they didn't reply to our booking, so I was like, I'm not queuing anymore. Dan went to the booking. Dan went in,
yeah, but he...
and Dan went in there very optimistic, loving the idea of this playing as this kind of 80s B-movie action hero. Come out of there like, meh. It was alright.
Yeah, he wasn't too impressed, was he?
No, not really. But, I mean, that was still quite early build. I'm sure it can change. But you watch the trailers, I think it just looks a bit generic.
Yeah.
I think it looks like any third-person action game.
I'm not super blown away by it. I do like the whole, the whole aesthetic of being this weird sort of old, cheesy, mummy film.
Yep.
But it's, like I say, it doesn't look particularly...
It's not captivating. It's not like, whoa, I've got to go play this now. This looks brand new. This looks like something new. I want to play now. It's just
looks fine.
Yeah, it looks like when it's on sale, grab it with a couple of friends and you can have some fun.
Yeah.
But I don't think I might be wrong. It doesn't look like it's going to be.
I doubt I'll play it, to be honest.
So I'd like to play it, but I don't know. But anyway, the new trailer looks quite good, and we're still waiting for a release date. Oh no, sorry, we've got a release date. It's coming 28th of August.
Oh, day after my birthday.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
There you go, birthday present for you. I like this news. Paladins.
Yeah.
Which is, you can argue, is it an indie, isn't it indie? It's high res. High res are completely independent.
I'd say it's an indie, yeah. Just because it's a rip-off doesn't make it
Paladins is... Now...
It's Overwatch.
You can argue as much it's a rip-off, but then you don't... Anytime you say it's a rip-off of Overwatch, you'd have to say Overwatch is a rip-off of TF2.
Which it is.
Yeah. Paladins
but I would say Paladins is a more one-for-one looking rip-off.
Sometimes. Some of the characters.
I think nowadays it's a bit different. But you go back maybe a year or so, it looked very similar.
I will say one thing though.
Too similar.
I really like Paladins.
I never gave it because I had Overwatch, so I thought no point playing.
So I stopped playing Overwatch to play some Paladins, and I played Paladins for about 3 weeks. I think about 60 hours in 3 weeks on the game.
Oh wow!
And there was a lot about the game I preferred. I felt the class-based system was a lot more apparent in Paladins.
Right.
In terms of your assassins were very squishy, but were super high damage. Seriously high damage. Your tanks were fucking brute. It took so long to kill, but done so little damage. And then, unlike Overwatch, I felt in Overwatch, one person could quite easily carry a team. If one person is... You got a good Genji on your team, they fucking wreck everyone.
Yeah, Genji is
Whereas I feel in Paladins, it was very much more of a team affair. And one thing I did really, really like about Paladins was how quick the games were. Right. We're talking 5-6 minutes, you're done. It's not your turn, their turn. I like Overwatch, but sometimes games can go on for fucking half an hour.
Sometimes I like that though.
I do like it, but
when a game's going on for long, I feel like I'm in the trenches.
There's a lot more... riding on it, But no, I think this is genius because Overwatch will never be on the Switch.
No.
Not in a million years.
Not at all. But this is a brilliant move.
High res going, actually, what's missing on the Switch at the moment? There's no hero shooter on there.
Yeah.
Well, we're not doing great on PlayStation at the moment because Overwatch.
Yeah. I assume
probably not doing great on PC because
free to play
Overwatch.
On Switch.
So it's coming onto the Switch on the 12th of June, next Tuesday, or Tuesday coming. Yeah. Probably be on there by the time this podcast goes live. For the first month, it's going to be found as packs only.
Right.
So $12.99 to get into the game. But with that, you'll get, I can't remember what the in-game currency is, but you'll get a certain amount of in-game currency, you'll get certain skins, and you'll get an additional hero unlocked. The progression system is really quick, and it's all based around cards. You have to play. You choose cards to customize your loadout.
Okay. Oh, okay.
But
there was a loadout.
Yeah. So your loadout is you can choose like health regen or more damage. So the different classes have different things, and you get better ones the later into the game you get. So you can save all your money to get one like 25% extra damage, which is fucking brutal. Or you could spend little ones and go 3% health regen, 4% damage buff, like things like that. Yeah. So there's a lot of kind of very MOBA based stuff around it in terms of it being a hero shooter, but it is a hero shooter.
Well, I think that's what that's sort of the idea of Overwatch and Paladins and all that, is to bring these sort of MOBA ideas to.
And also, Paladins have got the new Battle Royale mode, which apparently isn't that great. Oh. I've not played it yet. I can't remember what it's called. Yeah.
Surprised Overwatch hasn't done that.
Realm, I think it's called Realm Royale or something like that.
Okay.
Or Royale Realm.
Yeah.
I've not played it. I don't know what that's like. I don't know if that's coming to the Switch. All I know is that.
Do you think Blizzard think they're above that? Do you think that's why they haven't done it for
Overwatch? Yeah. Blizzard can do what they want.
That's true.
Blizzard, they
print money. So.
There's probably 2 companies that can do what they want. 3 companies can do what they want.
Go on.
If we're looking at Blizzard.
Yeah, definitely.
You're looking at Rockstar.
Yeah.
Can literally do what they want.
Whatever the fuck they like, yeah.
And to a certain extent, Activision. People get pissed off at Activision, but they can release a game and it will sell.
I mean, how many games come out?
But the thing is, Activision have the money to make it sell, because people go, oh, it's fucking shit, but they will market the shit out of that game.
Works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I'm going to be picking up Paladins on the Switch to see what it's like.
If I had a Switch, I would definitely get it.
Yeah.
Because, like I say, there's nothing to nothing to compete with it.
Another trailer we got, Tom. Fear the Wolves. Fear the Wolves was Focus Home Interactive and Vostok developers, Focus Home Interactive with the publishers. It come ahead of E3.
Yeah.
Do you know what genre it is?
What is it, Lewis?
Battle Royale.
Oh my god. Another one.
Would you believe it?
Incredible.
IndieCredible.
Oh, hey.
Calm down. Fear the Wolves is... So this feels like a big rip-off of several Battle Royale games.
Yeah, it's like a
so I've played the Hunt Showdown. Do you know that one? Which is fucking terrifying.
That's one that I actually think looks really cool.
I've had 3 games on it and I don't want to play anymore.
Quite a unique one.
I only want to play it with people I know, because I've played with other people, and 1, I'm not great on a mouse and keyboard, and 2, me screaming hysterically down the microphone to some stranger is not what you want to see.
That is my play style though, so
and
play at some point.
So the Hunt Showdown is a... this isn't the one announced, by the way. This is just to give you context about what Fear the Wolves is.
Yeah, what it's sort of...
the Hunt Showdown is... I want to say 5 teams of 2. So it's 5 teams of 2 land into a map.
Yeah.
There is
It's FPS.
All first person. Looking. Yeah, realistic looking with a kind of fantasy medieval looking twist around it all.
It's like...
A little bit westerny.
Early 19...
Yeah.
Let's say like 1914-ish sort of
And
time.
there's... and now there's a creature, a beast on the island somewhere. Now what you have to do is you have to go and kill the beast.
Which is... They're really scary, by the way.
Fucking horrible.
Like giant spiders and
shit. It's a demonic spider, mate.
Awful.
Like... It literally, like, you saw a gameplay video.
The noise it makes and everything.
You saw a gameplay video, didn't you?
I watched it,
and the guy's like, it's fucking above me!
It's awful. It's so scary.
It's not pleasant at all.
Yeah.
And it literally just teleports in front of you. You're like, fuck! So you have to kill the demonic creature. I think there's 4 at the moment in the game. While not being killed by the other team, or while you kill the other team, and then take the extraction that you get from the demonic creature to the helicopter and extract with... This is what I like about the game. There's 3 seats on the helicopter, so your team can extract with one other person.
Okay, so
you could go, get on, mate.
On,
bang. Don't get on. And then you get XP for, obviously, you get the most XP for extracting and things like that. The reason I say that is because Fear the Wolves is a PvP, PvE game, much like Hunt Showdown. The way you win it is by being extracted. It's not team-based, though. It's completely solo-based. Solo-based in terms of 100 people dropped on an island. Never had that happen before in a game. You fight out to the death. There's one seat on a helicopter for extraction. It's set just outside Chernobyl, so it's very... So I do quite like that mechanic in terms of it. Cool, yeah. It looks like you need to get a gas mask. I'm guessing that will be the storm. Like, you know, the storm in Fortnite comes in.
Radiation
I'm guessing it'll be like the radiation gets thicker and stronger and you need to wear a mask and things like that. It looks quite atmospheric. I will give it that. Yeah. It looks done like that. But it also looks, like you said, so scripted in terms of the shaky camera.
Oh, yeah, what you're showing is like 100% not
they sit up there now.
Yeah, that's not... You can just tell, can't you?
Yeah.
It's that classic, this is what gameplay might look like, but it's not actual gameplay.
And then there's... So at the moment, this is what I don't really understand. So, Fear the Wolves, I understand there's fucking wolves in the game. And they're slightly mutated because they're in the radiation. Mm-hmm. But they also said in the press release, that's the first announcement of mutated creatures. There will be more to come. But I'm like, why is it called Fear the Wolves then?
Maybe each DLC will be like, Fear the Cats.
Fear the cats.
Fear the parrots or whatever. You know, and each time they add a new mutated animal, you have to fear. And then, you know, that's the game.
Maybe.
Yeah, and it's, once again, it's first person.
Yeah,
realistic looking.
I want to be excited for it because it looks like it's doing something quite new. I mean, there's no confirming that Hunt the Showdown is coming to consoles, whereas this is coming to consoles.
Yeah,
it's coming early access PC this summer and consoles early 2019. I just can't get excited for it because it just feels so generic.
Yeah, it looks boring to be honest.
I love you say that.
Yeah, I'm quite. I don't know. Battle Royales. Bad enough now. I think that's it now.
Yeah,
I'm going to officially end it.
Also, by the time this releases, early 2019,
it's too late.
Do you not think that shit's passed?
Wait, it's been and gone. Two more trends.
Fortnite will still be around.
Sure, but it'll be like Rocket League. Rocket League's still around, but it's pros playing it.
Okay.
You go on there now, and it's impossible as a new player.
Oh fucking hell!
Because everyone's great at it, and it's got a solid player base, but they're all fucking great. And that will stay that way for a long time. But yeah, I think it'll be the same. Fortnite, maybe PUBG will keep the sort of player base that just remain as pros for a while. But no new ones are going to get any real fans. It's too late. Give up. I'm ending it now.
Advice from Tom right there. And the final bit of news this week is very hot off the press. Only because I was too hot.
Oh, damn.
I don't know the rest of the lyrics, sorry.
Call the police and the fireman.
Oh, yeah, cool. Yes, cool.
I did that for you because I thought you would like that.
Yeah, I was thinking a completely different song.
What are you thinking?
I don't know. I think I was thinking of Nelly, Hot in Here.
Wow.
You
old bitch.
I know, eh? But no, this is very hot off press because I was watching. So Sony have been doing a pre-E3 countdown where it's like a 30-minute conference, 45-minute conference.
Goes live every night, doesn't it?
Every night, yeah. And they show off new trailers, and they talk about things. They talk about what they want to see in the actual show. Every night they've had a pretty decent announcement. Like last night they had the release date for Days Gone, which I was like, that's like a first party game coming for them.
Yeah, quite
a big first party game, and they're not showing that on the main show. They're showing that beforehand. It's quite big. And tonight, very perked my interest. I've seen the trailer 4 times now because they showed it twice on the show. They showed it once, spoke about it, showed it again, spoke about it more, showed it again for the close, and then we watched it. And that's Twin Mirror, the new game from Don't Nod, who have just released Vampire.
Yeah, like literally just
released Vampire. Obviously, they've been working on this in the background. It's coming 2019. What I like. No, I don't like Vampire. I've not played it yet. I'm still looking forward to playing it.
Play that,
what I like more about this that I wasn't too into on Vampire is I love Life is Strange. The original Life is Strange, I think, is brilliant storytelling. Yeah. And that's what Don't Nod brought us. This looks like Life is Strange, but in a new setting, a new character. Very trippy at certain times without going into spoilers of what Life is Strange does, but very kind of dreamscapey. Just, I'm fully in. I think it looks great.
It does, yeah. I agree. I it's got that sort of strange sci-fi mystery that came with Life is Strange, and it is back to that again, like you said, that old version of storytelling they did with Life is Strange. Yeah. The classic sort of, it's classic now, I guess. That sort of Walking Dead style point and click.
So I was watching a trailer when I I was online actually downloading something with Tom, Dan's brother.
Other Tom.
And he and I was like, check this trailer out. So he went on and checked it out straight away. And he made a statement I thought was quite interesting.
Go on.
I don't nod for new Telltale.
Could be.
That was his thought. In terms of Telltale, take established IPs though and make stories out of them. So
whereas
Dead,
they have their...
I mean, Wolf Among Us is their own story, and that's a great story.
That's a comic.
That's a comic, isn't it?
Yeah, that's based off a comic.
But
that is probably their most original thing they did.
But in terms of they take like Guardians of the Galaxy, Batman.
Yeah, they get popular IPs and make their own stories.
Whereas Don't Nod might be the new Telltale in terms of they take completely original ideas and put them into
it's far better, really.
Telltale setting. Which, I mean the possibilities are endless.
Exactly. I mean, I think it's a shame. Telltale. There's so many things that they could do that annoys me they haven't done yet.
Everyone reckons there's going to be high stipulation that people think a Deadpool Telltale will be announced at E3.
That would make a lot of sense. I don't want it, but it makes a lot of sense.
People say that's probably the only one they want. Oh, I still want Jurassic Park.
They did that.
They done Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
What Telltale did?
Yeah, that's one of their bad ones.
Really?
That's pre-Walking Dead.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They've done one called Jurassic Park, and it's set right after the first film, and it's about Dennis Nedry's. You know, he dropped the Barbasol can. It's about the team goes in to try and retrieve the Barbasol can.
And it's not good.
It doesn't review well. Maybe the story's decently, but the gameplay is awful. Apparently,
Right.
the same as the Back to the Future one.
But their engines are always a bit weird, aren't they?
Yeah, but that was like I say, it's pre-Walking Dead.
Yeah.
It's before they got the formula down right.
Yeah.
Surprised they kept getting, IPs
the money
after that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they should do. I think Firefly.
Okay.
Firefly TV show people love. Yeah.
Do you like Firefly?
Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah. Got cancelled after one season. They can't bring it back. They can't because everyone's way too old.
Yeah.
But they can still lend their voices to characters in a game.
Yeah.
Bring it back as a Telltale game.
But then that's so niche.
It's not niche.
It is niche.
A show that did so well.
So they bring out Deadpool.
Yeah.
I'd probably get it. Dan would definitely get it. A lot of other people would get it. They bring out Firefly. Half the people I know would be like, what the fuck is Firefly?
I disagree.
But then you're in that
maybe, but I think
demographic
I still think
grew
it
up
would
watching
sell
Firefly
really well. Because Firefly only got cancelled because Fox mishandled the release of it on TV, and it was an embarrassing mess. But it got through to enough people that way.
Do you remember Roswell?
What the fuck is Roswell?
Roswell was just
Whoa, actually, that rings kind of a bell.
TV series I used to watch as a kid.
Yeah. They get cancelled as well.
I think 3 seasons.
Wow, Fox. Fox they're just so bad with TV shows. They just don't know what the fuck they're doing. They just mishandle everything. Do you know what they did to Firefly? No. They didn't.
I've never even seen Firefly.
They didn't air the pilot first, so they aired the second episode first.
How does that work?
Because they were like, we don't know, we want to air another episode because it's got more action in this one. So they didn't air the first episode as the first episode, and then they aired them all out of order. Some weeks they just didn't air an episode at all, and they didn't advertise. So it got barely any views because of them, and they thought, it's not doing very well. It's great. It's a great show, honestly.
How many episodes?
12 or 14 episodes.
Do you watch them in order, or do you watch them in...
Watch them in order, yeah.
Or do you order they released them in?
No, that's a stupid way to watch it. Watch it in order. It's genuinely good. It's Joss Whedon.
I might give it a go.
It's Joss Whedon.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's before he did Buffy.
Ah.
And people loved it so much that they had this campaign where they bought so many DVDs, and then they did this big petition to bring it back, and Fox were like, no. But then they were like, okay, we'll sell it, and they sold it to Paramount, and they made a film.
Is there a film?
Yeah, called Serenity, to finish off the series.
Is it good?
It's alright. It's a shame because they had to condense what was going to be a big, long TV show into like a 2-hour film. But honestly, that could make a good Telltale game. It honestly could. If you watch it, watch it and tell me that wouldn't make a good Telltale game.
I'll give it a
go. It's on Netflix, I think.
Okay.
And I also think Star Trek could make a good Telltale game.
No. All right.
If Dan were here, he'd agree. That will make a great Telltale game.
Possibly.
That's one of the only ways to make a good Star Trek game.
Star Trek VR looks pretty good.
That is great, but you don't get the story of Star Trek episodes.
Make your own story.
Well, yeah, I guess. But I mean, there is missions in it.
Do you remember that time when Tom couldn't put up the shield? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we blew up. Good times. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But Oh yeah, I think that'd be great. That's
When
the
Dan
best way
done
to
the
make a Star
barrel
Trek
roll in the
game.
Millennium Falcon, and Cool. What USS Millennium Falcon?
USS Millennium
So
Falcon.
it's cool, isn't it?
I think I ran into a ship called the USS Millennium Falcon on Star Trek Online.
Really?
Yeah. There are some fucking weird names for ships in that game.
Well, that is going to wrap up the news, and that's going to take us on to our final section, which actually is being recorded after the podcast.
Yeah.
So yes,
so we don't know anything that
I'm
happened.
guessing it's a good interview. I'm hoping it goes well.
I hope it bombs.
It
Like
goes
it's the
horribly
worst
wrong
interview,
now.
yeah.
Anyway, this is going to be an interview now with Fishing Cactus, the developers behind Shift Quantum. What's going to happen is it's an audio-only interview, so I'm going to be putting up about 15 to 20 minutes of my gameplay from what I've done for review, so you can see the game playing while we're talking about the game. So you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about while we're actually talking it. And I'll try and put key parts from the gameplay in with the audio, and it goes like that. So it should come out all right. Due to the interview not being recorded until Monday morning, the podcast probably won't be live until Monday evening at the earliest, more like Tuesday morning. Yes, partly because one, E3 conferences are going to be being watched, and two, I need to edit the interview and put it in and get the gameplay in and put it all up. So hopefully you don't mind that. But yeah, let us know what you think of the interview. If you haven't played Shift Quantum, you should definitely check it out now. It's available on Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. It's priced around 15 quid. It's a very challenging, but I think fun puzzle game. You think it's quite fun, don't you?
Yeah.
And yeah, hear what we think to it in our full review. And this is Fishing Cactus's interview about the game itself. So until next week, guys, patrons stay around because after the interview you'll have post show.
Oh, yeah.
But everyone else, until next week, make sure you stay IndieCredible. Hi guys, before we go into the interview, I just want to give you a quick little apology. Sorry, our interview was actually recorded after the podcast, and when I sat down with Pete and Mike, we had a great chat, we had a great interview, but we did experience some technical issues at the very end. We asked all of our questions, but at the end of them answering the final question, for some reason we completely lost connection to each other and we lost all audio. We've tried to reconnect, but it's just not fitting up very well, so we're going to leave it as it is. So apologies, the interview does end quite abruptly, but that is the end, and I'll remind you again at the end that is the end. But no, this is the interview with Fishing Cactus, with developer Peter and programmer Mike. Okay guys, I'm joined by Peter and Mike from Fishing Cactus, the developers behind Shift Quantum, the recent puzzle game that came to Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox One and PC. How you doing, Peter and Mike?
Fine. We are really enjoying having a little break after the tough weeks pre-release of the game, and now the game is out. We are really happy of the work we did and of the very first ratings and comments emerging on the web. We are really happy.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no, the game is great. I mean, I've played through the whole game myself. My colleague has played through about 70% of it, but he's not great at puzzle games, and he's really struggling with it, just because he's struggling with the whole puzzle mechanic to it. I really, really like the game. I love the way the levels ramped up in difficulty, but the concept behind them always felt simple. I felt like I should know the answer, but I never did know the answer. I also love the way that the new mechanics that you added in, the different blocks that rotated the world, or even the little fans that you added in. I would often play 3 or 4 levels with them being in there and then realise that I had a new mechanic because they kind of integrated in so seamlessly with the levels. I thought they were brilliant. But for me, the standout of the show is the level editor. I think that is like an absolute brilliant addition to the game, but I'm going to talk about that more later into the interview. But your previous titles, you mostly worked on puzzle games, is that correct?
You mean as a company, as Fishing Cactus?
So as Fishing Cactus, obviously you had Monkeys Ahoy, Epi Story, which is more story but has puzzle elements to it, Algobot. But Shift Quantum for me, I've played a little bit of Monkeys Ahoy and I've played Epi Story. I haven't played Algobot. But for me, Shift Quantum felt like it was your most adventurous puzzle game, your biggest scale puzzle game to date. Would you agree on that?
Yeah, sure. We in the past we already developed some Shift games for iPhones and for 3DS, and yeah, definitely Shift Quantum is our most advanced puzzle game we ever made, both in every direction in terms of quality of the game, of graphics, of gameplay, animation, etc. We really wanted to match a high quality in every aspect of the game, mainly because it's our first game. It's the first game we released on every new generation platforms, every consoles and PC, etc. So yeah, we really wanted to achieve a high quality in every aspect of the game. Yeah.
I think in terms of polish, in terms of what you delivered as a final product, is absolutely brilliant, and it runs impeccably on. I've played it on the Switch as well, and it runs impeccably on just about all of them. I was quite interested to where you were influenced from, or where you got your influence from for Shift Quantum. It's a very unique puzzle game. The whole shifting mechanic. It made me ask the question: why has no one really exploited this mechanic before? Because it's so effective. Like, is there any way you drew the inspiration from to kind of lead with that?
Well, I don't know. I guess no one thought about it.
Yeah.
In fact, this concept stems from the original Flash games, who were owned by Armor Games.
Okay.
So back in the days, there was actually like a Shift game, which has exactly the same mechanic as we have. This is actually a continuation of the same IP, but it's the first time we really went into next-gen graphics, because it was always just plain black and white 2D sprites.
Okay.
Until this one, where we really went into a 3D world with a nice background and nice visuals and bigger consoles instead of just having Flash.
Oh, nice. I honestly did not know that. My colleague Dan probably knows that. He's big into the kind of the Flash games and his retro gaming. He probably would have known that, so I should have asked him.
But yeah, a small correction. There actually was a 3D Flash game on 3DS. I don't remember the name. I think it was Shifting Worlds or Shift DX. I don't remember, but it was, yeah.
Oh, nice. So I mentioned Epi-Story before, and I really, really liked Epi-Story. It felt like that was your first feet into more of the storytelling pool.
Mm-hmm.
And what surprised me with Shift Quantum was how there was actually like a narrative embedded in the game. I didn't expect that. I expected very much a level-based puzzle game. Would you say that your time with Epi-Story and playing around with the idea of a narrative kind of inspired you to introduce something like that into Shift Quantum?
When we first thought about creating Shift, we thought it was not a good idea to just create a puzzle game where players would go from the start to the exit of level to level, and we really wanted to bring something more to the game, and this is why we thought about adding a backstory to kind of justify why you would be playing a guy in those kind of levels.
Nice. Yeah.
On top of that, our company motto is actually also something in the likes of we want to create games with a soul, with things that actually stick. So we kind of felt the need to really put the story in there, and it's also really something that drives us in the development, because we know that we want to just tell a story, even if it's a bit abstract or vague. It just gives us like an extra dimension of the development.
Yeah. No, definitely. No, it was like I said, it completely took me by surprise around. I'm not going into spoilers, but quite early into the game when I noticed the whole yellow scarf thing, I was like, oh, is this going to have a story in this game? And as it progressed, I was like, oh, nice. Like, actually, I like that you went to almost the extra effort, because I'd have loved the game anyway, just as a puzzle based video game. But with the story in it, it really added to the I suppose the immersibility to the experience. What I was also interested to know is so I really like the aesthetic, the cyber noir aesthetic. Was that always the plan, to have that kind of visuals on the game, or was there any other kind of visual aesthetics that were played around or on the board at any time?
Well, we had not a lot of choice about the color we wanted to use, because the original IP was using exclusively black and white.
Okay.
And so we had to figure out how to use that colorimetry for the whole game, and how to make distinct blocks made of shades of gray. So yes, the palette was quite limited, and at some point we had a few more colors in the game, like the exit neon above the exit door was green. And we had also red particles when you were dying, and we also had the yellow scarf, as you mentioned just before. And we decided at some point to completely strip the color out of the game, to only keep the yellow scarf to make it even more meaningful to the player.
Yes, nice, very, very. It was very effective in doing that, and it kind of added that contrast of that. Like you said, added to the narrative of the game. So you mentioned earlier, the Shift Quantum was your first full console release. Mm-hmm. How was it working with? Because obviously you've published or put your games onto Steam. How was it hitting the deadline with all of a sudden not just one platform but 4 platforms, and 2 of which are, from my experience of talking to people, quite PlayStation can be a bit more tricky getting your game on there due to the testing it has to go through.
Yeah. Well, first you have to make sure that you slept a lot before porting the game.
Yeah. And actually, you need to pass those tests on all consoles, so both on Xbox, PlayStation, and actually on the Switch too.
Okay.
So it's actually something quite tricky, because you need to take that into account. You just don't know how long their tests are going to take, and you have a fixed release date. So how are you going to handle that?
Yeah.
Or the test's going to take a month or only 2 weeks. This was quite tricky for us to figure out, so we decided to do a pre-certification quite early in our process. We knew we were going to fail that, because the game really wasn't ported yet. We just clicked the button to compile on the other platforms, and basically we sent it like this. But we got a good indication of how fast the turnaround was, and it turned out to be a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice.
So I think it was like 2 weeks, and we received quite detailed feedback, so we knew what we could expect. And with that new information, we then got started. We first went for, I think it was the Xbox. Yeah. So we first decided to port as much as possible for the Xbox, and once we had something that was pretty much working, we added in the Switch until that one was pretty much complete, and then we finished off with the PlayStation. Each at a time, just making sure that everything that we fixed for one platform would be fixed for the other ones too, to reduce our work. And as a fun fact for that, the PS4 port was actually done in like 2 days.
Oh, really?
Because we really had to hit our deadline, so we just spent 2 full days on it just to perfect everything to make it ready, and then we managed to finally get certified for all of them. So,
but luckily, they require lots of certification tests to validate the games, and luckily most of the platforms share almost the same tests. So once we had to fix something for a platform, generally it was already fixed for all the other platforms too. So it was a huge time saver. And I want to mention too that we used the Unreal Engine to develop the game, and luckily for us, they provided already almost all what we needed to make the certification succeed. So it was a good investment.
Oh, nice.
The thing with that is that if you use Unreal Engine, you actually have access to the source code. So if something is not working as you would expect, or you fail certification because of something that was in the engine, you actually have the liberty and the chance to fix it yourself. And this is something we had to do for all the platforms. In fact, we had to modify the engine for all platforms to make it compliant.
Nice. Well, it's quite a feat. I was very impressed to see that it was releasing everywhere on the same day. Still, so many small developers have a certain release on maybe PlayStation a week later on Xbox, and maybe a month later on Nintendo. But coming everywhere on the same day was very impressive, and hopefully it done really well for you guys. Because although I reviewed it on PC, I brought it again on Switch because I was like, I want to play this game on Switch, and I was so impressed with it on the Switch, and it feels like the perfect game to play on the Switch. I can pick it up, I can play a couple of levels, I can put it down, and I really like the fact that it did come to the Nintendo console.
Yeah, we were really surprised by how well the game is going on Switch. We were a bit afraid, yeah, performance-wise, etc., etc. And in the end, we published the game, a dev build of the game internally. We tested on the dev kit, and right out of the box, we were at like 60 FPS almost all the time.
Oh, nice.
We had to optimize a few things here and there, but hopefully, it was a really a nice surprise. And once we discovered that the game was running that seamlessly on the Switch, we were really confident we would have no problems running the game on any other console.
Yeah, no, definitely nice, and it's well, you guys have done a great job of it. Like I said, on the Switch, it's personally what I would recommend. A couple of friends have asked me about the game, and I've said I would personally get on the Switch. I think that's where I enjoy playing it the most, purely for the pick up and play gameplay. Now, one addition, my standout element to the game that I think was absolutely brilliant, and I've probably now put more time into the level editor rather than the actual time it took me to finish the game. It is such a great addition to Shift Quantum. I've realised that I am probably one of the worst level designers ever known, to the point where I think I've made a couple of levels and I'm like, I don't think there's actually any way I can actually finish this. I've been far too ambitious. Was it always your plan to put the level editor into the game, or was that something that kind of halfway through the development process you was like, oh, this would be a nice idea?
No, back right from the start, it was planned to bring the level editor in the game. And it's actually the very first thing we created in the game, because we really wanted players to use the same tools as we use to create the levels which are embedded in the campaign.
Yep.
And it was right from the start. We knew that we wanted to bring in the game almost at least 100 levels. But we felt that it might be a very good addition to have a community creating levels every day and adding more and more content to the game.
Yes, no, definitely.
And actually, if you decide to add in a level editor later on in the game, most of the time it's something based upon what your own designers use. But it's never going to be as polished and as good, in our opinion, as when you decided upfront to add it to the game. Doing this, we actually made a very something polished and very easily usable.
That's what amazed me, was how easy it is to use. I mean, I remember back in the day doing like Quake level design and things and things like that, and I had a lot of fun with it. But it was some of them so cumbersome. But this is so simple to use, and getting your head around it is. I actually found it helped me, because I jumped into level editor probably halfway through the campaign, and it helped me understand the actual game mechanics of the game. So some of the latter levels that are probably, they are very challenging. I almost felt like I had a bit more knowledge on them because I dived into how they were made in the level editor. So you just to confirm, you did say that the level editor in the game is what you guys use as well to make the levels?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We had a few more tricks we can only us can do in the level editor. In every level of the campaign, there are collectibles. That specific block is not available for the community levels. It's really something we really wanted to keep for ourselves. And obviously, there are some additional features. When it comes to, without spoiling too much, playing with the other character from the campaign levels. Those are tools we didn't want to provide to the community for obvious reasons. But apart from those two things, it's exactly the same editor the designers of Shift Quantum use to create the campaign levels.
Oh, nice. Good stuff. Have you guys been checking in on the community levels? Because, I mean, I've played a couple of them, and some of them are just, they're so bonkers, but they're so impressive. I'm blown away. I think I spent nearly 45 minutes on one the other day that was like this giant cat. But it was very cool. Have you guys been checking in, seeing what the community are making?
Yeah, we actually have to, because every level that you submit, it needs to be validated by us first, so that you don't submit stuff that we don't find appropriate.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you know.
Yes, I see. Fair dues. And I'm sure people have probably tried it.
Yeah, they did indeed. So we have the right to reject levels if they have some obscene content in it. So we actually do that. And every time we actually have a validation tool with a screenshot. So we see what level is being pushed, and we see that some of them are very interesting. For example, we have like a big bodybuilder guy in there. And very recently, I think it was yesterday or a few days ago, the guys from BitTrip Runner actually made a level of like BitTrip.
Oh, really?
So I'm quite curious. I haven't played it yet, but I'm quite...
Once again, guys, I just want to apologise for the abrupt end. Again, it was completely due to technical issues, which is neither ours or Fishing Cactus's fault. But I do want to say a big thank you again to Fishing Cactus for sitting down and chatting to us about Shift Quantum. Shift Quantum is available now on PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch and PC. It's priced between like 15 or 18 quid, I can't remember exactly, but it's a very, very good puzzle game. We scored it an 8.2, and hopefully by listening to that interview, you kind of got more of an idea. And I really like the fact that they turned around and said that the level editor in the game was actually how they designed the levels themselves. But anyway, enough of me. I hope you enjoyed the interview, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Until next week, thank you so much for listening. Patreon, stay around for the post show. And if you want to get onto post show, then you head over to Patreon for $1 a month. Otherwise, we will see you next week, and thanks again. Goodbye.